All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a piece of ancient wisdom that, honestly, it completely flips how we look at our closest relationships. If you've ever found yourself wondering what actually separates a true friend from just a casual acquaintance, or what real gritty family loyalty is supposed to look like, well, you are in the exact right place. So, take a look at Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Now, at first glance, this famous proverb can sound, frankly, incredibly confusing, especially that second half. It's one of those ancient sayings people quote all the time, but so often they totally misunderstand it when trying to actually apply it to their real lives. Like, you might read this and think, wait, is the text implying that friends are inherently better than blood relatives? Is Solomon praising friends over brothers here? Because let's be honest, it almost sounds like a friend is always this great positive presence, while a brother is, well, kind of conditional. Or maybe you hear it and it sounds like family loyalty is strictly transactional, only relevant when you hit a wall. Like you can just entirely ignore your family right up until your car breaks down, you lose your job, or absolute disaster strikes. And honestly, to modern ears, you might even read this and think it suggests brothers actually cause the distress. Anyone with siblings is probably chuckling right now thinking, yep, my brother definitely creates adversity. But here's the thing. The answer to every single one of those questions is a resounding no.
To really get what's going on here, we need to break this proverb down into its two halves. Let's start with part one, the constant friend.
So the original Hebrew word used for friend here is rea. And this is super important because the ancient concept of a friend wasn't just some fair weather buddy who only hangs around when you're successful or fun to be with. It actually refers to a deep companion, a truly trusted confidant. It's way broader and honestly much more robust than our modern idea of someone you just occasionally grab a coffee with. We're talking about someone who loves in prosperity and poverty, success and failure, health, sickness, honor and disgrace, the whole shebang. This kind of enduring commitment is basically covenant loyalty. It's someone whose affection stays rock solid even when you are incredibly difficult to love or when your life gets turned upside down. It's not just a fleeting emotional feeling, it is an enduring, ironclad commitment. All right, so that brings us to part two, the brother in crisis. Let's deconstruct this second half. The Hebrew word for adversity here is sarah, and that means major distress, trouble, crisis, or just immense pressure. If you read the ancient text literally, it shows us that a brother absolutely does not cause the trouble. Rather, the intense adversity reveals exactly why brothers exist in the first place. A brother is literally born for the specific purpose of stepping directly into the crisis. To really wrap our heads around this, just think about what happens today when things go sideways. We rely on this massive web of institutional safety nets, right? We've got insurance policies, the police, hospitals, courts, social services, retirement accounts. Basically, if things go horribly wrong today, there's usually some system in place to catch us and soften the blow. But back then, oh man, it was a totally different story. If you lost your crops or your health, a brother was the one expected to step right into the line of fire to defend you and essentially redeem your life. In the ancient world, your family was your absolute, and I mean only, safety net against total ruin. If a widow needed care or family land had to be redeemed, the brother was the lifeline. The role was so much larger than just being a sibling. It was a sacred duty of protection. And this leads us to when friendship becomes kinship and the beauty of Hebrew parallelism. You see, these two halves are a poetic device where two truths basically illuminate one another. It brilliantly illustrates that these aren't competing virtues at all. They are totally complementary. Think of it like this. On one side, you have a friend's test. That's constant affection before, during, and after trouble. Then on the other side, you have a brother's test, which is all about rock-solid reliability and dependable support the exact second hardship hits. A lot of commentators actually point out this really beautiful natural progression. A true friend eventually becomes like a brother. They show how genuine, steadfast friendship eventually matures into the deep, fierce loyalty we usually only expect from our blood relatives. So it's not that one is better than the other. It's that the absolute highest form of friendship reaches that exact same unbreakable devotion as brotherhood. We actually see this embodied historically with David and Jonathan. Jonathan wasn't David's biological brother, but he functioned exactly like one.
He protected David from King Saul's wrath, encouraged him when things were incredibly dangerous, and stayed fiercely loyal despite huge personal cost. He absolutely nailed both the test of the constant friend and the dependable brother. We see it again with Ruth. Now, she wasn't related to Naomi by blood, she was a daughter-in-law, but she acted with this incredible family loyalty when just packing up and leaving would have been so much easier. Her famous declaration, "Where you go, I will go," just perfectly captures how deep friendship can seamlessly morph into absolute kinship. And then, of course, we see these roles merge perfectly in Jesus. He literally told his disciples, "I no longer call you servants, I have called you friends." But he didn't just offer them some casual fair-weather friendship, right? He then stepped right into the ultimate adversity to sacrifice himself for them. He completely fulfilled that role of the brother born for crisis. So let's look at the spiritual layer here, reflecting the divine. Because this ancient wisdom isn't just about human relationships. At its absolute deepest level, this points straight to the character of God. God is the constant friend. His love remains steadfast even when we're weak or struggling or completely messing up. And Christ is the brother who stepped right into the immense adversity of sin and suffering with us. He didn't just stand back at a safe, comfortable distance watching us fall. Which brings us to the ultimate question, a personal pivot for us today, because this proverb really holds up a revealing mirror to our own lives. You know, instead of defaulting to that natural, somewhat selfish question, who is going to support me or who is there for me, this wisdom quietly challenges us to flip the script. We need to be asking the selfless question, for whom am I there? Are we providing that ironclad, unconditional love when others fail? Or when they completely disagree with us? Or let's be real, when they deeply inconvenience our lives? Because adversity is like a revealing fire. It absolutely exposes which relationships are built on convenience and which are built on real commitment. I mean, anyone can show up to celebrate your victories, right? But it takes a true brother or sister to sit right beside you in that sterile hospital room, or to walk with you through a massive financial collapse, or to just sit with you in the total shame of a failure. Trouble simply burns away all the superficial stuff. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Are you cultivating the kind of relationships that unite both the constant friend and the dependable brother? Because true relationship, it's love that remains and loyalty that arrives exactly when it is needed most. Take a really hard look at your inner circle today and ask yourself, not just who is showing up for you, but who are you stepping up for?